Hello dear students, welcome to our online physics class. I am your physics teacher. How are you all? I hope all are good and fine at your houses. Dear students, in the last class we are discussed about the what is the science, what are the different kinds of science. So in the last video I wrote as a ninth class physics introduction. So that introduction is same for all the classes. So that's why you can follow that previous video. So here in this class we are going to start our syllabus for, that means what are the syllabus is there for 7th class physics that we have to discuss in this classes. So here dear students, totally we have 5 chapters for 7th class physics. First chapter is heat, winds, storms and cyclones, motion and time, electric current and its effect, and the last chapter is light. So these are the 5 chapters which our physics consists. Okay, so here in these 5 chapters, whatever these 2 chapters are there, these 2 chapters are for a first semester and the remaining these 3 chapters for a second semester. Okay, so we are going to conduct a exam on these 2 chapters for a first semester and remaining these 3 chapters are for a second chapter. So here just I will give the brief introduction of all these 5 chapters. So heat, whatever the heat is, just we can observe this. So second chapter is winds, storms and cyclones. So this winds, cyclones, storms, these simply we are calling as a natural disorders, or we can call it as also as a natural phenomena. So these winds, storms and cyclones are going to happen by the nature. So how the wind, cyclones, storms are going to observe? So this is a rainy season. This rainy season we can observe the presence of the winds, storms and a cyclone. How these things are going to form? What is the effect of this winds, storms and cyclones? What is the reason for this formation also we have to discuss. Motion and time. So in the last year you already know about the motion and time. So in this class also just we have to introduce some new quantity that we are calling as an speed. So and also we have to solve the problems based on the speed. What is speed? What are the formula of a speed? How to solve the problems based on the speed we have to discuss. And one more new thing is a graphical representation. So how we are going to represent a graph with the help of a motion and a distance by taking the time and a velocity time, how we are going to represent. ಓಕೆ, ಮೋಷನ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಮೋಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ 6th ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ. 7th ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಗ್ರಾಫಿಕಲ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ನ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ನ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಮತ್ತು ಟೈಮ್ನ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಗ್ರಾಫ್ನ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಬರೀತೀವಿ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಏನೇನೋ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೋದು. ಮತ್ತು ನಾವು ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಟರ್ಮನ್ನು ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿತಾ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ನ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಏನು, ಅದರದ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಏನು, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮೋಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊತಾ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. Next chapter is electric current and its effects. So here in our day-to-day life we are familiar with a current. Okay, that we are calling as an electric current, or simply we can call it as an current, and somebody is calling as an electricity. So those all are same terms. So what is electric current? What are its effect? How we are getting the electricity from the different forms that we have to discuss. Current ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೇನೆಲ್ಲ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಗಳು ಸಿಗ್ತವೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕರೆಂಟನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ರೂಪಾಂತರ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ರೂಪದಿಂದ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಟು ಅನದರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕರೆಂಟನ್ನು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ತೀವಿ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಅಪ್ಲಯನ್ಸಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಲೈಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ಲೈಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಲೈಟ್. Okay, and also we are going to discuss how the images are going to form by lenses and mirrors. So whatever the concept of a light is there, this is very important for your further studies. That this chapter is consist for our 8th class, and also this chapter is present in the 10th class. So if you learn the basic concept in this standard only, it will be a very helpful for your higher study. So these are the 5 chapters present in our physics syllabus. So first we have to discuss a chapter 1, that is a heat. So our first chapter is heat. The heat consists of a 6 concept. What are those concepts? Idea of a heat and temperature. That means what is the heat, what is the temperature, how we are going to differentiate between the heat and temperature. So in our day-to-day life we are observing the so many things which are in a hot state, which are in a cold state. So by touching things we can judge whether the substance are hot and cold, but in a scientifically or in a systematic way we have to define the term heat and temperature, so that we have to get the idea what is meant by exact definition of a heat and temperature. Second concept is measurement of a temperature. So how we are going to measure the temperature of any object, that may be a solid, liquid or a gas. We need a particular temperature of an object. Because of that we need a measurement of a temperature. So third one is a thermometer. So whatever the temperature is there, to measure the temperature of any object we are using a particular device. That device we are calling as a thermometer. Temperature na alate madlikke ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, thermometer na use ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. So in that thermometer we have two types of a thermometer which we are commonly or generally using in our life. So first one is a laboratory thermometer and a clinical thermometer. So laboratory thermometer, what is the laboratory thermometer, where we are using the laboratory thermometer, what is the construction and the working principle of a laboratory thermometer, we have to discuss. Similarly, clinical thermometer, what is the clinical thermometer, what is the construction and working of a clinical thermometer, how we are using the clinical thermometer, what is the range of a clinical thermometer, all those things we have to discuss. And main thing is, by studying the laboratory thermometer and clinical thermometer, we are going to judge or we are going to define, we are going to state what are the differences between the laboratory thermometer and the clinical thermometer. ನಮಗೆ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ರೇಟರಿ ಥರ್ಮೋಮೀಟರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕ್ಲಿನಿಕಲ್ ಥರ್ಮೋಮೀಟರ್ನ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ರೇಟರಿ ಥರ್ಮೋಮೀಟರ್ಗೂ ಮತ್ತು ಕ್ಲಿನಿಕಲ್ ಥರ್ಮೋಮೀಟರ್ಗೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. Fourth one is a transfer of a heat. So here the heat is also going to transfer from one end to another end, or one part of a body to another part of a body. So how the heat is going to transfer from one end to another end of the same object. So while a transfer of a heat taking place, this takes place in the three process. One is the conduction process, convection process and a radiation process. By these process we can observe the transfer of a heat from one body to another body, or surrounding to object or object to a surrounding. So what is the conduction method, what is the convection method, what is the radiation method? These three methods we have to going to study. And the next last concept is kinds of the cloth wearing in summer and winter season. So here we are the human being, we are not wearing the same type of the cloth in all the seasons. We are wearing a different stylish or different types of the cloth according to a season wise. So mainly we are observing the three seasons, winter, summer and rainy seasons. According to the different seasons we are wearing the different types of a cloth. So why we are wearing the different types of the cloth according to a different season? That reason we have to comes to know by studying the last concept, that is a kinds of clothes wearing in a summer and a winter seasons. So these are the 6 concepts which are present in the first chapter, that is a heat. Yes, dear students, I hope all are understand what are the chapters present in the 7th class. Okay, these there are 5 chapters are there for physics overall 1 year. So in this just we are discussing the concept of a chapter heat. Okay, if you have any difficulty or if you are not understand, if you feel any confusion, just ask me. Okay, in the next class we are going to start with our first concept, that is a idea of a heat and a temperature. So what we have to do, you have to do first, you have to write down the physics syllabus in the first page of your physics notes, and the next write the name of the chapter and write this 6 concept. Okay, it's clear? Okay, thank you to all.